afternoon. This is All About Bitcoin, a show dedicated to all things, questions, and markets related to Bitcoin, little b for the currency, and Bitcoin, big B for the network, a collective journey to understand, apply, and use this innovation, all Bitcoin, all the time. And I'm your host, Christine Lee. Bitcoin right now climbing higher for a seventh straight day, extending this year's longest winning streak so far. Investors are bidding up BTC as a potential hedge against future inflation, despite data showing little to worry about the current pace of price increases. U.S. stocks are also rallying as the S&P 500 and Dow hit fresh record highs. This happening amid news the European Central Bank will accelerate bond purchases by as much as 1.85 trillion euros or 2.2 trillion US dollars, with an aim to keep bond yields from rising too fast and derailing the EU's economic recovery. This just a day after the U.S. House of Representatives passed a 1.9 trillion relief bill that is headed for President Joe Biden's desk for his signature. Right now, the XBX Bitcoin price trading at 57,055. It's up about 0.6% over the past 24 hours, according to trade block data. The XBX has been the most reliable Bitcoin reference price for institutions since 2014, with billions in assets under management benchmarked against it. Meanwhile, peer-to-peer crypto trading platform Paxful boasting of having 4.8 million users and over 350 ways to buy and sell Bitcoin. And joining me now to discuss is Paxful co-founder and COO Artur Schaback. Welcome, Artur. All right. Can you hear me, Artur?
Yes.
Okay, great. So, Artur, you offer peer-to-peer crypto trading. Where geographically are you seeing the most activity right now as we see these all-time highs or near record highs?
So that's a really good question, right? I guess like everybody thinks it's, all the store of value institutions are buying that, and the retail in US, in Europe, basically in the Western world. But in reality, a lot of action is happening in the emerging world as well, which are, countries like LATAM region and Africa and Southeast Asia. And we are growing there linearly, like really stable, because people use their Bitcoin for their day-to-day needs, especially in countries like Nigeria. It was said it's the second country most used country who are using Bitcoin after US, and that's for a reason. They use it for their day-to-day commerce, payments, because of different reasons. Like there's their local currency is devaluing, and they have capital controls in the outflows, and they have limits on their international payments because they don't have enough dollar reserves. So Bitcoin comes here to the rescue. And this is really fascinating.
That is really fascinating to see that in countries where they are dealing with inflation or governments that are having few problems in those populations, that they're using Bitcoin. In fact, we have a chart right now that shows trading volume activity on Paxful peaking with local Bitcoins in Egypt, but coming down since then. Is that just following Bitcoin's price, or is that related to government actions in Egypt?
So in reality, it's not about the price for the emerging world. They are not using that as a store of value. They're using this for commerce. If their local currency or their like central bank is giving hard time to move money around just for like day-to-day things, like, hey, I want to purchase something abroad, or, I want to send money for my tuition in UK, and they cannot simply do that with the local currency. Like they don't want people to basically get out of the local currency. That's why people go to Bitcoin. So, and it's being used by them day to day. It's not being held, right? Maybe it's for us, it's kind of hard to understand, but they are literally using that every day.
So I wonder if you could give me a explainer on what kind of activity you're seeing in countries like Nigeria, like India and Egypt right now, and amid government restrictions that people are having to face in those countries.
So that's a really good question, right? So the first part of the question is like, what are they using for? So there's many reasons. Store of value is one of them. Of course, people just want to preserve their savings, either in gold, in crypto. And then there's other use cases like remittance. They want to just send money abroad or receive it from abroad in Bitcoin, and then they sell this Bitcoin on the peer-to-peer marketplaces or like local exchanges. So one of them is Paxful, right? They receive Bitcoin into their Paxful wallet and they sell it via the bank transfer or some local online wallet like M-Pesa in Kenya. So they sell it to somebody on Paxful because we're a marketplace, and that other one who is buying Bitcoin, he's sending M-Pesa transfer. So that's one use case. Another is to do that, to use this for payments. If you want to import some stuff from abroad, your bank giving you a hard time, for example, it's not because the bank doesn't want you to do these payments. Just how the financial infrastructure is built. It's legacy 40 years old, so it's slow. It's like settlement, FX rates, right? You simply use Bitcoin. 10 minutes, done. And this e-commerce, you can accept payments in Bitcoin. Again, it's because getting a bank account, accepting payments from your international customers may give you some hard time to start doing that. Like you need a Western entity, you need to pay like $2,000-3,000 to set it up so you can accept Bitcoin. So you can accept debit, credit card payments. So you can simply get a Bitcoin wallet, receive payments. No onboarding needed, no registration. And the last one is wealth preservation that I just told, right? You can just hedge your local assets, your local money into Bitcoin or into like stable coins like USD, USDT, USDC. So that's what people use. So it's not like one, it's all of them.
Right. All right, great. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time, Artur, for coming on and explaining to us how people are using Paxful.
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right. That was Paxful co-founder and CEO Artur Schaback. Coming up, more BTC markets analysis with trader Alex Krüger. Welcome back. All right, quick market checkup right now. Bitcoin just falling under $57,000 right now, but still up about 0.25% over the past 24 hours, according to trade block data. And joining me now with some BTC markets analysis is trader Alex Krüger. Welcome, Alex.
Hi, how are you? Good to be here.
Good. Good to have you. All right, so we have news of this $1.9 trillion stimulus heading over to President Joe Biden's desk. He's expected to sign it tomorrow. And we have the European Central Bank saying today that they will significantly accelerate a plan to buy as much as 1.85 trillion euros worth of bonds, which is $2.2 trillion US. I'd like to get your take on this news and its impact on Bitcoin.
The impact is it's rather it's priced in a way. It's been a long time, so I think way more important than the stimulus right now, and the ECB is the fact that rates bottomed or topped basically last week. That's what really matters at the time is to have no panic whatsoever on the rates market. So basically, risk assets may continue going up. So it's important, but it's secondary.
Okay, fair enough. What about, are you talking about the negative rates also in Europe?
Not really. I'm talking basically about nominal interest rates in the US mostly that been pretty much getting out of control and reversing the whole move since COVID started in 2020. If you look at a chart on any bond chart from TLT to basically other ETFs or futures, you're going to see that basically bonds reversed everything that happened since COVID, starting in June and accelerated sharply in this year, particularly in the last month. And there was quite a panic last week, or basically like the peak was 10 days ago, February 26th. And so then we bottom, and now it's bouncing. And
so
that's what I'm referring to.
What is your near-term, long-term price target for Bitcoin?
I don't use price targets. I think price targets are a guessing game with absolutely no edge whatsoever. They're good for selling. They're great for research, and they're great for engagement, but it's not something that has an edge in trading. I just think that price, as of now, is transiting a multi-year bull market, and there is, as of now, no point in determining where the top may be. And that's the case, I think, for as long. Well, yeah, it's. I may be getting concerned when the second half of the year comes and basically Bitcoin miners start receiving their mining units. Basically, all the miners, they've been. There's been a backlog in deliveries for miners, which has basically kept hash lagging price. And the fact that hash lags price, what it means is basically it means that miners' profitability is at the time, and has been for quite a while, extremely high, helping miners hoard Bitcoin. Mm-hmm. So basically that's accentuating a positive feedback loop. Once they start receiving those miners and revenues drop and profitability compresses, theoretically and quite likely they're going to be incentivized or pressured to increase their selling volumes, and then we have to see where price is at the time and what's going on. And it's TBD. We'll see.
Right. Alex, you also recently said that you believe major central banks will eventually hold Bitcoin as a reserve asset. I'm wondering, why do you think that will be the case?
It's become unavoidable. Everybody, it's how to put it is, it's now seen by a large fraction of global markets as an alternative to gold, and central banks do hold gold. So once the market accepts, mainstream market accepts Bitcoin as a alternative to gold, it becomes unavoidable. Honestly, I didn't think it would happen for a very, very, very long time, but things changed in 2020.
Any governments that you see first in line to make that huge move if that happens?
No, nobody in particular. No. We're a few years away, I think. It would be guessing.
All right.
It would certainly not the ECB or the Fed.
All right. Thank you, Alex. Very appreciate your time on the show and giving us your insights.
Thank you very much. Glad to be here.
All right, that was trader Alex Krüger. Time now for the chart of the day. Bitcoin on the balance sheet is becoming a global trend for corporations. Bitcoin and Ether purchases by companies in Scandinavia and Hong Kong are fueling speculation that a wave of non-U.S. corporate treasurers might follow MicroStrategy, Tesla, and Square into buying cryptocurrencies. According to Norwegian analysis firm Arcane Research, the new corporate buyers appear intent on holding onto their cryptocurrencies for the long term and see further upside potential in Bitcoin. For instance, Hong Kong listed Meitu, a maker of photo retouching software, bought 15,000 ETH and 379 BTC in open market transactions last week. Arcane estimates the company paid an average price of $47,230 for its BTC. And on Monday, Aker, a Norwegian energy engineering company, added 1,170 BTC to its balance sheet at an average price of around 49,600. So both companies paid well below the current market level of around 57,000 for Bitcoin. As this chart shows, the sooner the company got into the market, the better price it got. All right, that's it for All About Bitcoin. I'm your host, Christine Lee. Join Isaiah Jackson for Community Crypto this evening at 5 p.m. And I'll be back tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. for First Mover Live, your first look at the day's global crypto news headlines. You're watching CoinDesk TV.